Well, welcome back to another edition of Tea and Toys, something a little bit outside the comfort zone. We're talking about Heroclix. Now, when it comes to Heroclix, I am very much outside of it these days. When it first came out, I was all in playing, collecting all the little pieces and playing the game and everything. And as the game has evolved, my interest has devolved in it because there's just so many elements to it. You used to be able to get all your character pieces out, powers and abilities card, and that was it. And then the game went on to do, like, they added more powers, so they give you an extra card, so characters could be more accurate to their depictions in the comic books, whether it be a past appearance or a present appearance or a specific storyline appearance of a character and its power set. And now you get like tarot cards, and you have a dice. You got to do like a counter thing. If Blade rolls a 6, you got to how many 6s did Blade roll? For me, there's so many more elements, and people love that. Some people love that, and that's fine. And for me, I just felt it just so much. So, and it's obviously come a lot more expensive as well. And also, it's still got a lot of the older pieces. And when I was told about the introduction of the legacy cards, so that's, for example, here we've got the Ghost Rider legacy card power here. So this old Ghost Rider 2099 playing piece. Here he is in all his glory, and he comes with, well, you have to buy a whole big box with the chance of getting this card. So these cards alone can be up to about 30 quid, 40 quid, 50 quid, depending on the character, depending on the piece. So if the piece is expensive, then the legacy card will be expensive. But these cards were a great idea because it gave life to some much older pieces, even going way back to the Infinity Challenge times, where we've had, I think, Thanos and a Fire Lord. I've also had these legacy cards. Great idea. Great, fantastic idea. But, again, not cheap, especially if you've already sold those old pieces off. Or sometimes the cards are just harder to come by than the actual playing piece itself. So, although a great idea, not accessible to everybody. So I've had a thought. Somebody like me, who hasn't got the funds, well, if you know the channel, I'm buying Transformers and other stuff, so and I'm big into my Hero Quest, love my Hero Quest. So yeah, Heroclix definitely taken an aside when it comes to that. But I'll put a list together. So you know me, you know that I love a list, and I've put together a very nerdy list of all the current legacy cards that Heroclix pieces have got. Some don't have to be that old. Some of them are literally 2 or 3, 4 sets old, and they get given a legacy card. And sometimes the points are less. So let's just take a look at that Ghost Rider in particular. So Ghost Rider from the 2099 set, which was just a small starter set from memory, and we get the legacy card stats. So we know the original figure was 60 points to play. So that's no additional powers that we saw on the card a minute ago. And if you get the legacy card, you can now play that piece for 50 points plus all those extras. Now, what I would like to see, like some form of official or unofficial stroke official guidelines from WizKids for those of us that have got a ton of the old pieces, and we can't and don't want to be paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds for new pieces. I'm thinking, right, so I could play with modern people with my older pieces. Now, one of the issues is the older playing pieces have such high price points. So let's just get rid of that. And we're going to take a look at 2 versions of the thing. So we've got the original. Let's just get it all. I know I've got the Ghost Riders there as well. So you've got 2 versions of the thing. You've got the original Clobbering Time thing here at 134 points. Wow, that is a steep price to pay for a thing these days, especially when I think this is the Freedom Foundation thing. So this set is what, let's say up to 5 years old. Up to, I don't know, I'll just say up to. And for 60 points, you might think, well, that's not too different. Obviously, the stats on the older figure, they go way down. They hit like the floor hard. Now, the dial is longer. Both got the same team ability. And then we click into what they call the thing, and we can see here, so this thing, for 60 points, obviously will come with a player's card, and you've got all these extra abilities that he can use for 60 points, versus your original thing, which is very basic, just a simple charge, and the stats fall off, and he is plus 50% more to play in the game. So to try and align the old with the new. Now this is by no means scientific, so we'll get up another spreadsheet. Here's the other spreadsheet. Now, it's by no means a science, and it's taken a long time to try and get my head around how we can get this to work to our best for old versus new, or old plus new, let's say. Outside of legacy cards, which are a great thing, just an expensive way around sort of being able to use some of your older playing pieces. Now, they won't do a legacy card for everything, so I'm hoping that this would be like an all-in, hey, how about this alternative for your old pieces? This is by no means official. You don't have to take these stats at all. So what I tried to do is, to try and align it, so let's slash those original card list sets. So any set that was up to the first set that was called the Avenger set, which is when the white cards were introduced. And I have done bits on white cards, but I'm just looking at stuff without the cards. So that's the original Marvel, original DC, and any of the independent sets, including the Indie-Clips set. So we look at this. So 50%, less 50% of the original Shield Agents. So 10 down to 5, 12 down to 6, 14 down to 7. And then I've got thinking, well, modern sets are all ending in 0s or 5s, so you have to round to the nearest 5, which to some people is quite a lot. And so just so you don't get the 0 values, like some of the bystanders, you did get 0 values, but that was really hard to get around. So, first hurdle with a lot of the pieces, a lot of these smaller pieces like your agents and your vampire lackeys, your henchmen, and even your lower point characters like the Blade here, like the Wolfsbane, Black Cat, so on and so forth. So how do we get around it? Now there is argument for, oh well, the team ability costs this, team ability costs that. So what I've tried to do is that any generic piece outside of a couple that I probably need to re-review. The veteran version, back in the old days, it was rookie, experienced, veteran, unique, LE, and then any special ones, promo ones. And those are the only sort of values you've got for the characters. Now you tend to just get a single character per set. They might do a prime. So what did I do? So I took the Shield Agent, rounded to the nearest 5. Every character rounded to 5. I'm like, well, that can't work, because you would never play a rookie if you could get a veteran for 5 points. You would never ever pick a rookie for the same price value. You wouldn't. What did I go from there? I had to do a bit of manual jiggery pokery. Now I didn't want to go down using the odd numbers, although 5 is an odd number now saying that. Like with your 1s and your 2s at the end. So how did we combat trying to make sure that you would want to use your rookie, you'd want to use your veteran, you'd want to use your experience? To try and round it up to even numbers, best you can, either to a 5 or to a 10. So you'd have a rookie plus a veteran Shield Agent, so you'd have 10 points there, or you play with 2 experienced. And I think down here we could try to do the same with a thug. So if you want a rookie thug, play it with an experienced thug, that's 5 points. So if you want to play 2 of them, 10 points, or one of them, 10 points. To try and a way round of making it as on par with the modern game as possible. Not everything is possible. Like some of the original price point values were just near on impossible. You got down to Blade as well. All the price values were 15. So you sort of think, well, they all do need to be slightly different. So I took the cheapest one at 15, 20, 25. So not every character would be reduced by 50% using this method. Now I know that imperfect. It isn't perfect. It is not perfect. Going back to the Thing in particular, and trying to get him to be playable. And the best I could get, rounding him up to the nearest 5, or rounding him to the nearest 5. he'd be 65 points versus the 60 points of the more modern thing with the card, with the extra abilities. Now, imperfect. So if anybody's got any input of how you think it could best be done, like do you do minus 51% to try and get some of the pieces, but then other pieces you sort of think, well, maybe they're too cheap at the 50% off, but it's to keep them more, well, I would use the word competitive, but a lot of the older pieces won't be competitive in the modern game against the modern pieces. But this, for me, it just helps those of us that have got the older pieces that want to play against people that have the newer ones. You might not win. You probably won't win. The odds are against you, right? The odds are against you because of those stats, especially if you play at the original playing price point. So this is an attempt to try and even the playing field by reducing those original sets down by 50%, rounding to the nearest 5, and then with some manual jiggery pokery to try and get it to try and work. That's my thought pattern on this, on Heroclix, and I guess one of the ultimate plans would be to create new labels for the bottom of the pieces. So you just print off the labels, stick them on, and that's your up-to-date playing price. Does it work every time? No. Is the veteran thing probably too expensive versus that modern thing, even at just 5 points? Let's go back to those two. Let's give them a proper comparison. So an extra 5 points. The only advantage the original thing has is that his dial is slightly longer. He has less powers on the dial and doesn't have a player's card to sort of give him that extra boost. So I don't know if there'd be a rule if you do you do a +1 defense and offense stats, leaving the maybe leaving the damage and the movement. But then again, when it comes to characters like the original Thanos, we'll get him up because I've actually got Thanos ready more or less. You've got the original Thanos where he's got a 15 attack, and then he obviously goes down to a 10 defense, which would, in the modern game you would not be heard of. You would never see that in the modern game. But if you do like the +1 to the attack stats, that's 16. That's 16 attack for a piece that's nearly 30 years old. They are my thoughts on giving new life, giving permanent new life to those older pieces, so you don't have to wait and pay out a lot of money for legacy cards. I do love the idea of legacy cards. It gives new life to the old pieces. This method, it allows you to give new life instantly to those old pieces. You don't have to go by this ruling. You might have a better ruling. This is just my thought pattern on how to modernise your older Heroclix playing pieces. Don't forget to love, like, subscribe, and see you guys and girls in the next video.